Well, welcome everybody to this week's training session of BrokerBot. It's your favorite broker, Broker Bob here to get started.
Mm,
Today, I want to welcome everybody here today. What are we going to be talking about today? Well, we're going to be talking about how do you master your ideal client avatar. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Let me ask you a question. When someone asks you what kind of real estate you do, what do you say? Well, if your answer is anything close to, I help buyers and sellers, or I work all of San Diego, you're leaving money on the table every single day. And I say that with love because that's exactly where most agents are. And it's exactly why most agents kind of get stuck.
mhm,
So here's the truth about where we are in today's real estate market. It is noisier than it's ever been. Buyers and sellers are being marketed to and from every direction, from Zillow, Redfin, the agent down the street, the one they saw on Instagram, and the one who sent them a postcard last week. So, what makes someone pick you?
mm,
Well, the old answer was be everywhere, talk to everyone, cast the widest net possible. Well, that worked in a different market. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work today. Today, the agents who are winning, the ones who are closing deals every year, are not the ones trying to be everything to everyone.
mhm,
They are the ones who have gone, what I say, vertical. Well, what does going vertical mean? Going vertical means you stop being a generalist and start being the expert for a specific type of client. Think about it from your client's perspective.
mm.
If you need heart surgery, do you go to a general practitioner? No.
No.
You find the best cardiac surgeon you can. Real estate is no different. When a first-time buyer who's terrified about making the biggest financial decision of their life is looking for an agent, and they find one who says, I help everybody buy and sell homes, versus the one who says, I specialize in helping first-time home buyers navigate the San Diego market with confidence. Who do they call? They'll call the specialist every time. So going vertical means you become the specialist. You become the agent who is known for serving a specific person in a specific situation with a specific result. And when you do that, your marketing gets sharper. Your conversations get easier, your referrals get more targeted, and your closing rate goes up because the right clients are already pre-sold on working with you before they ever pick up the phone. So how does an agent who wins speaks to clients? Well, here's the other shift that separates the top producers from everyone else. It's not just the what they do, it's how they speak. Agents who win don't talk about themselves. They don't lead with their production numbers, yet their years of experience, or how many units they closed last year. Agents who win talk about their client. They walk into a listing appointment and say, I understand that your biggest concern right now is selling quickly without leaving money on the table. Here's exactly how we're going to do that. Or they meet a first-time home buyer and say, I know this process feels overwhelming. I know you're worried about overpaying or making the wrong decision. My entire job is to make sure that that doesn't happen to you. They speak to the fear, they speak to the dream, and they speak to the transformation. And that's what we're going to learn today about the workflow that I've set up. We're going to show you how you can build your client avatar. In other words, a detailed profile exactly who your perfect client is, what keeps them up at night, what they've already tried, and what they're afraid of. And most importantly, how you are the solution to everything they've been searching for. Hopefully, when you leave today, you'll have a little bit clearer picture of how to do that, how to do it within the BrokerBot platform, and how to put you into a vertical market. How does that sound today? All right, so let's show. I'm going to share my screen, and what I've got is a new workflow that I've put together. And it's basically, if you don't know who your client avatar is, you can get it. So it's going to take some thought from you to put this together because you are the one that ultimately know what type of client you want to work with. So when you type in the workflow, and the workflow, what did I create it to be? The keyword is the ideal client avatar. So what it's going to do, it's going to take you through an exercise. When you type that in, it's going to start a series of questions. So it'll come up with welcome to your ideal client avatar exercise. Your avatar is the foundation of your real estate business. When you clearly define who you want to work with, everything from your marketing to your conversations become more focused and effective. So once it goes through about 10 steps together, the first one, step two, it's going to gather your demographics. So it's going to ask you, what's your age range you want to deal with? What's the gender? What's the location? What's the income level? What's the family status? What's their occupation? What's their lifestyle preferences? What's their preferred communication style? Then it will present a clean summary and confirm that before moving on. Now, this is where you might kind of get stuck. So if you're an agent that's been in the business for a couple of years, you kind of know who you want to work with. Now it's going to really, really go drill deep on that. You know who that client is. If you're a newer agent, this might take some thought from you. It's like, who do I really want to target in on? And it doesn't have to be just a demographic, it could be a psychographic. In other words, people that have the same interests, the same thing they do on the weekends. Or it could be a demographic, psychographic, or maybe you want to focus in on on only condo buyers downtown and downtown high rises. That's an example. I'm not saying do that, but that's an example. Or maybe you want to work with investor type client. That's a psychographic as well. The next step, what you're going to do is why this audience? You're going to ask what excites them about serving this group beyond just the transaction. What part of the client's journey do you connect with them? So, for instance, maybe you're going to do senior transition. That's another psychographic type group too, or demographic as well too. Figure out what works well for you, and then figure out your avatar will walk you through that. Then the next step, it's going to segment your client and it's going to act which categories best describes their ideal client. First-time home buyer, move-up buyers, luxury buyers, investors, sellers looking to maximize profit, and relocating clients. The next step is what keeps them up at night. Again, that uncovers their client's biggest fears, tailored to buyer or seller based upon their segment. That is key right now because when you're doing your marketing, when you're going through after you figured out your target market, we programmed BrokerBot to help you with your social media campaign to actually then target that person and coming up with a social media cam that will speak to that individual. So it's very important you don't skip this step. Make sure you give it some thought. And if you're having trouble when you're answering the question, say, I'm stuck. Can you help me with this situation? I kind of have an idea, but I can't verbalize it. And BrokerBot platform and the AI will help you work through that thing. On to step six, the inner monologue. What is the client thinking before they ever contact an agent? What doubts and hesitations do they have? This is another critical step because in your marketing, these are the types of things that BrokerBot will help you formulate and put into a social media campaign. Step seven then talks about emotions. Which emotions best describe their client during the process? Are they excited? Are they anxious? Are they overwhelmed? Are they hopeful? Are they stressed? Are they confused? And then the step eight, the biggest fear. What is the client's single biggest fear right now? This is where the agent steps in as a trusted guide. So I recently just posted today a Substack article about how agents are going to win in this age of digital age when there's so much information out there and they're being bombarded. I truly believe that you're there to help solve their problems. If you're an agent, and I mean this with love, if you're an agent just promoting an aerial photo of you walking through a house and showing everything about you and not about the client, they're not going to pick up on how you can help them from that video. They don't want to see you putting sunglasses on and getting out of a Mercedes. What does that do for them? All it shows is that you are exuberating success, but are you really helping that client? And that's what a client really wants to see in today's market. So answering their biggest fear in that step 8 is really, really important. And then step 9, what have they already tried? Have they done Zillow searches? Have you done FSBO, another agent, open houses, friends and family advice? You might have a hard time with that question right there, but again, do your best on answering that. And then step 10, why it didn't work. Were you overwhelmed by the process? Did you get conflicting advice? No strong negotiator? Felt like just a transaction? That's feedback that's really important that you can probably get some from your former clients. And then step 11, the transformation. What does the clients look like after working with you? Again, paint that picture. If they're a senior downsizing going into transitional housing, what does their life look like at that point? And then step 12, which is it's going to help you then craft your value proposition. And this is where a lot of agents get stuck. And this was actually a session in our Ignite training is crafting the value proposition. And for all the years that I've taught that session and that class, this was probably the hardest session for most people because you really, really had to put your thinking cap on. And then finally, in step 13, it's going to deliver your complete client avatar profile. It's going to compile everything into a clean formatted avatar summary, and it will present it to you. But before it does that, it's going to confirm were the demographics defined? Did the audience motivation get confirmed? It's going to confirm your client segment identified, the fears and the inner monologue. It'll go through all those and it'll ask you, is this correct? Is this correct? And if not, then you go back and make some modifications. And then once you're done with your complete avatar, it's going to give you four optional next steps, and it will ask you. So it'll do social media. We have the one workflow we discussed a few weeks ago and last week, the social media 8 week. It will then, based upon your avatar, build you a targeted 8 week campaign for that avatar. And I'm going to show you an example today because I've built this out to show you an example. Or we'll ask if you want to request a listing or buyer presentation script tailored to that avatar, or request a farming letter or a postcard if you're going to do a geographic farm, and it will request your agent bio written around that avatar. So again, if you want to do this workflow, the workflow is ideal client avatar. All you'll do is go in to a new chat, plug that in, and it will start the workflow. So let me show you a workflow I created. Let me see where I can get it. That's not it. Um, oh, here it is. So I did an example for investor type clients. And once I plugged in and figured out the avatar, I plugged in and asked for it to run social media 8 week campaign. And it gave me everything I needed to do to post on social media. So here's some of the graphic and the Canva templates that I'll show you that BrokerBot was able to create. Again, this is for investor type client because the investor, I'm speaking a message different than I would as opposed to a simple, a regular home buyer or home seller. What I'm targeting is a landlord in a property owner in San Diego, California that really doesn't know what their rate of return is on their property. So again, social media 8 week program came up with all these graphics, and I don't even need to put it into Canva to modify it. It actually came up with everything that I liked. So all I needed to do was tell exactly what I wanted in the graphic, and it gave me the graphics. Not only did it give me the graphics, it gave me again, an 8-week campaign um, of what to post on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and I do say we post on Twitter. I don't like Twitter as a platform again, but I'm posting on Twitter for GEO. That's generative, um, ex, um, like SEO, search engine optimization. GEO is generative engine optimization, which we talked about in previous classes. Threads and Blue Sky. And then it gave me all the posts. And then on top of the post, I had it go on to my calendar and actually add the post for each day. So it's got the first and then the fifth and everything I need to post. So all I need to do is go back to that and then every day I know exactly what I'm posting. So that's the avatar program. That's the social media 8-week. And that is everything you need to know and do to figure out who your avatar is and create a campaign based upon that avatar. So I see we have 4 people on the call today and you all have your camera off. So it's just Broker Bob talking. So any questions on that? All right. That's all I wanted to show today. So if anybody else, I appreciate your time today. Sherry, I hope you're doing well and you're home recovering. Let us know how you're doing. Send us a quick text so we know. It's great seeing everybody today. And that is it for the class.
Well,
Okay, thank
I
you.
tried to put mine on, but and the reason I keep my camera off when you're talking and showing us a workflow is because, and I don't know if this is for anybody else, but I need a magnifying glass to see all the words that are in that tiny little box.
Oh.
So that's why I don't want you to see the magnifying glass and everything. And for some reason, it's yeah, because that would look weird, right? It'd be distracting. Um so anyway, that's why I do it, so I can read what you're showing us. And for some reason my video won't come on today. So
You like me, you have a pair of glasses all over your house.
oh yeah, well, I try not to use them unless I absolutely have to, but these is really tiny. So but
Let
thank
me
you.
know because I can expand the font type on that too as well.
Yeah, well, that might be a little bit helpful,
All
but
right, just let
I,
me
I
know.
probably will still be doing that. So
All right, everybody, have a
okay.
great day.
You as
Thank
well.
you. You
Thank
too,
Thanks,
you.
Robert.
Robert.